Alright, hi, so welcome to WuWa 3.3. So today we're going to be doing our Hiyuki Rolls. I know usually I do like my story quest first and then I do my rolls, but I mean, I think I have enough asteroids for that. So one thing that I want to point out, I like Hiyuki's design, but unfortunately she does kind of suffer from the Zanny release thing. Now if you don't know what I'm talking about, when Zanny was released, she suffered a lot from just having one dedicated support, or two if you count Spectrover, but Spectrover is like a pretty poor replacement for Phoebe. Now, this is the exact same release sort of tactic for every character. There's a main DPS, there's a support, and there's like another thing, right? Or sub DPS, and then there's a support and whatnot, right? Is Hiyuki, I would argue, is actually worse than Phoebe, than Zanny and Phoebe's situation, because Hiyuki relies on the new Glacio Chafe. I don't know if they changed the word. Maybe it's Glacio Bite at this point. I don't know. But she relies on the new negative Glacio mechanic. So when I played as her, she functioned better with Carlotta, her, and then Chisa, right? It's not an optimal team, but the other option was Barney, Line, and then her. But that's still not an option. That's still not a great team because she doesn't really interact with Toon Break whatsoever. So in the end, it was Carlotta, her, and then Chisa. So when Zanny was released, at least then, Spectrover and Phoebe were both available options. Hiyuki does not have that. She does not have her dedicated support out yet, so that makes her release kind of annoying, which means that her sort of release as a anniversary character is kind of, it kind of makes it worse than Zanny, but yeah. So, if I remember correctly about Hiyuki, so Hiyuki is another character with two phases. If we go to her thing, her rotation should be intro, skill, basic, and then heavy, which is hold your basic attack. So that's the arrow attacks. Her liberation, first liberation, and then skill to build up her forte gauge. I never managed to say that word correctly. Full basic attack chain, and then heavy, and then liberation, and then swap out. So it's a long thing. So what team are they gonna give us? And I'll get more into my current problems with character usability and releases and all that stuff a bit later on. Just like I did when another certain character was released. I had like a rant about this like a year ago. Oh, she said it. Oh, that's weird. Well, guys, screw that up. I'm going through my entire rotation. I'm still not at Hiyuki yet. Oh, my frame. What the heck? Oh. Well, that's okay. So they actually, I think they nerfed Hiyuki a bit, because originally when you do her, oh, so they didn't, because originally they kind of changed her skill in her second phase, and then they changed it back, I think now, because originally before it was like, oh, you needed your skill to make contact with the enemy, and then her forte fills up, and then they changed it back to its original state, which is now it doesn't need to. You can just sort of just spam it and then it fills up, so that's better. But yeah, so they adjusted her quite a bit, but still, it's kind of annoying that she doesn't have any dedicated supports right now, but whatever. Alright. Her weapon is this. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna be too hung up if I don't get her, but still, you know, might as well just roll for her. So, first roll of 3.3. Let's get going. And nothing, as expected. Maybe I should do like a common roll first. Yeah, okay, let's do a normal roll first. Nope. Sure, I mean, I'll take it. Ooh, bowling, nice. Love bowling. Alright. Alright, nothing as expected. That's fine. I mean, look, I'm not expecting to get her within like 30 rolls, so yeah. We might need to hit pity for this, which is fine. Oh, we're definitely gonna need to hit pity for this. Oh boy. Oh. Sure. Sure. 4 stars. Fair enough. Oh my god, I got a Hanae Natsuki jump scare. Okay, Alto. Okay, buddy. Oh boy, this is gonna be one of those. I see how it is. I see how it is. Ooh. My denier rolls, man. Oh man, this is gonna hurt. Oh boy. I don't think I've gotten character roles luck this badly since Rochi, I want to say. I think I definitely suffered the most with Rochi, and now I'm suffering more with this. Oh, jeez. Oh, finally. Oh man, the frames are so bad now. This game is kind of poop now. No double like Galbrina? No. Okay, only one. That's fine. Alright, weapon time. Time for more suffering. Oh! Did the weapons always have animations? Why don't I remember the weapons having animations? This is the first time I remember. I mean, look, we got her within 27,000. 17,000. 17,000, which would be like 100 rolls, and there's a 30 beforehand, so we got like 130 rolls, which is still kind of a lot. It's not great, but I'll take it. Whatever. Oh boy. There you are. Yeah, okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, so now I just want to talk about. Yeah, and they also changed the UI. Most jarring UI change is probably the this thing, because it goes from bottom to top now, which is weird, rather than top to bottom. But I digress. So, let's talk about character usability and stuff like that, because that is something that I've noticed quite a bit about WuWa. Oh really? I only have one copy. Oh, well, two. Okay, well, I'm just gonna focus this on Hiyuki, just so that you can see her while I talk about things. So character usability. So right now the current support or current release schedule for WuWa is currently being separated into a couple of things. It's basically a main DPS and there's a basically dedicated support for a given character. So or like a sub DPS, however you want to call it. So basically the more copies of the same unit that you get, the less they basically rely on their dedicated support. If you look at Cartesia or Cardathia, whichever language that you play her on, right? For the first few, she is actually just reliant on Siakona, right? She's very much so reliant on Siakona because of Siakona's ability to generate the arrow erosion stacks and all of that stuff. But as you actually grab more and more copies, the less she's dependent on Siakona, and that applies to all of the other characters. The first two copies is to add more effects to the characters themselves. The third and fourth is to buff the unit, essentially, and then the fifth and sixth is to just have some game-breaking stuff. Now, here's where the problem comes in. So in Mortar, what the heck? In order for units, whether support or DPS or sub DPS or whatever, to be fully utilized, it's always going to have to be a premium option. Alright. Now, Siakona, of course, you can replace with Arrow Rover. Phoebe, for Zanny's case, you can sort of replace with Spectrover, but her time's gonna be like cut in half, which is like a pretty big debuff. But generally, the supports, like why did I forget about that? The support will always be a premium option. It'll always be a 5-star. It'll always have to be an extra character that you have to go out of your way to try and grind for and try to roll for. And if you don't want the support, of course you can always just pull for more copies of the main DPS, so then they are basically independent from the support. But more copies means, again, it's a premium option. It's something that you have to grind and you have to pay for if you want more copies of. Now, of course, you don't always have to pull for all the newest units and all of that stuff. Like, I don't, right? I haven't pulled for Sigrika. I know a lot of people haven't either, which is why they nicknamed her Skipgrika or whatever, but it's just that a lot of endgame modes revolve around needing those new units. If we take a look at the new whatchamacallit, if you take a look at the new tower, the new tower is, well, I'm just gonna exit it because why not? The new tower, all of the buffs revolve around Glacio Chafe, or what, Chaff, whatever it's called. I don't know at this point. So they always revolve around the newest release, which is fine. It's gacha. It's whatever, right? So if you take a look at this, it's always going to be about Glacio Chafe, right? Like, it's 100% more total Glacio Chafe damage. So it's always going to cater more towards the most recent character and most recent mechanic. It's a gacha game, so that's fine. But the options will always be premium, right? Even though the current premium support for Hiyuki doesn't really exist. But yeah, if you basically, I mean, obviously I didn't really complete these with the newest units because I just, skill issue or whatever. But if for more casual players, if you don't have those units, you're basically just gonna be stuck in oh wow, my frames. You're basically just gonna be stuck with power creep, right? Because all the endgame modes cater towards having the newest unit and stuff like that. And if you don't complete them, that means less asteroids, which means less pulls. I mean, just the easiest way to fix this, because as you can see, all of our supports are premium options, right? all of our supports are premium options. All of them. Like, Booling is technically like a budget shorekeeper, right? But at this point, shorekeeper doesn't even have a banner anymore, and she also isn't really like relevant to most teams nowadays. Obviously for the Sugrika team, yes, but like that's like one team out of like all of the other recent ones. It's just that they need to add more 4-stars, which can take the role of 5-star supports, right? So that even if you don't have the dedicated support, you can still use those teams. Like, I just haven't used Galbrina at all, even though I have her basically all leveled up and I have her first resonance chain, right? Because I don't have the dedicated guy that has the echo skill damage amplification, because he's basically the only guy who has that. And if I don't have that, then she's kind of just there, you know. As much as I love hating or hate loving a game, and that game being FGO, Fate Grand Order, FGO does an amazing job at making every rarity relevant. So if you take a look at like Merlin, for example, Merlin is a 5-star unit. If you don't have Merlin, you can always replace him with Hans Christian Andersen. Arash and Chen Gong are still amazing low rarity units. WuWa suffers a lot from just only having premium options for every single role. There's no main DPS 4-star. There's no 4-star sub DPS. There's no 4-star like support, dedicated support for the newest mechanic. There's no 4-star for tomb breaking. There's no 4-star for any of the air erosions, anything else, right? Like, all of these 4-stars are kind of just useless. Obviously, there's still like Sanhua, and then there's still Mr. Punch Fist Man, which I still use a whole bunch because of Koshi, but a lot of them just don't have roles. They're kind of just useless. And then those roles are being taken by premium options, which means that you have to use the premium options to play premium options, because there's no budget option to compensate for those premium options. It's a vicious cycle of just like, oh, guess I always have to pull for a character because there's no replacement for them. Like the 1.x characters just still feel very clunky. I know there's still like dungeon like soloers out there, obviously, right? But even then, it is getting a bit hard because of the HP power creep for bosses, right? And there is still the half-assed, half-baked mechanic of coordinated attacks, which aren't really relevant anymore. Like they kind of implemented that with Frolova, but she's mainly an echo damage, skill damage dealer DPS, right? So even though she does do coordinated attack, I believe, wait, does she not do a coordinated attack? I swear she does do coordinated attack. Maybe that's like old beta info, but like, I swear she did. But like, there's only premium characters who are usable right now, basically, because no other options are like, there's none of the other bases are covered. It's either using premium or using old teams, and even then, old teams are losing their viability because of HP power creep for bosses. So yeah, and again, like a lot of endgame modes revolve around newer mechanics, newer characters, and stuff like that, while old stuff like coordinated attacks and stuff like that are just kind of tossed aside. And Kuro is very, very well aware of the fact that your characters, your 1.x characters, are kind of just not really that great anymore because they specifically buffed them for endgame Matrix. Your 1.x characters are buffed, so they know that they're losing viability, but they just don't really do anything with them. There's no dedicated support to buff them, there's not really anything. I mean, there's a reason why they haven't rerun any of the 1.x characters. They know they're not viable, so people just don't want to roll for them, quote unquote, even though I see a lot of people just like, oh yeah, just buff them and then rerun them and stuff like that. But it's because all of the endgame things all revolve around the newest mechanic, hence why the 1.x characters aren't viable, hence why they just aren't put on banner, even though it would cost them nothing to basically have them on banner again. So honestly, they just really need to add more 4 stars to really cover the release weaknesses, because right now Hiyuki is kind of useless. She's just there. She doesn't have a dedicated support or a dedicated sub DPS, she's just there, right? So it's kind of worse than Zanny. And maybe revamp the 1.x characters. And no, I don't mean like 5-star Yap Yap, because that hurts so strong. But you didn't hear that from me, because a 5-star Yap Yap is not a fix, right? It's a replacement. It's a replacement for, it's literally just taking Yap Yap, Yang Yang, and just placing her in the position of where a 5-star would typically be, but it doesn't fix any of the problems because it's still a quote-unquote 3.x character, because she's going to be using 3.x mechanics rather than revamping the 1.x characters and mechanics. So there is inherently a lot of problems with the current WuWa handling of characters and releases and usability and stuff like that. Now, are they gonna fix it? Probably not. It's worked for them so far, but like, you see a lot of people complain about it. Now, of course, it could just be the majority or the minority with a louder voice complaining about things a lot more, but this isn't just preference. This is pragmatism? How to say this word? This is literally just being kind of objective. Or as much as I could be, because definitely some of these older characters are suffering from it. Oh wow, I never did this. Huh. But yeah, and their release schedules, again, they're really awful. And Rover himself, or themselves, are being used to cover those weaknesses where 4 stars would traditionally be in, right? Air Rover is being used as support for Cartesia. He's being used as support for Phoebe or Zanny. So he is being used to cover the bases where 4-star releases should be, which means that he's never his own unit, because as soon as you get your own, the dedicated support, he's kind of just useless, you know? So it kind of renders 4-star characters obsolete, and kind of renders Rover obsolete as well. So it's just overall kind of worrying as to where this is actually gonna go. But yeah, I think I've yapped enough of this. Yeah, I don't know, that's just my 2 cents. Again, it's not like I'm a dedicated WuWa player, so I could get some stuff wrong, but that's generally just the stuff that I've observed based on, I mean, just other gacha games, just WuWa itself and stuff like that. But yeah. Hope you guys have good luck with your Hiyuki rolls and your weapon rolls and all of that stuff. Other than that, yeah. Happy anniversary, and yeah, take care everyone. Bye bye. See you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when and where you guys are. And see you guys next time. Bye bye. See you. Take care. Bye.